Many people don't believe in God because their concepts of God have failed them. Our theological impressions have often been based on sociological settings in which we live and work and have our being. In biblical times, those settings were often understood as divinely ordained, in which everyone was assigned a status and role in life in order to maintain life and society. Rulers were rulers by divine right, and the enslavement of others was an accepted norm. A woman's place was in the home to be a wife and mother, and a man's role was to provide for and protect his family. This hierarchical, status-oriented concept of our worldly physical realm also reflected our concept of the spiritual realm, which was and remains hierarchical. God is perceived as the perfect ruler, our sugar daddy, our faithful and unwavering provider, while we are his helpless and lowly subjects who can do nothing without him, and who, if faithful in our obedience to him, will enjoy the abundance of blessings and prosperity. But even the biblical writers of Job and Ecclesiastes, among others, acknowledge chinks in this theological armor, where God seemed often absent in times of desperate need, and where good and faithful people felt abandoned and cried out with Christ, Eloi, Eloi, lema sabachthani, or my God, why have you forsaken me? In such a time as this, when the threat of war looms on the horizon, and all forms of bigotry in every land once again rear their ugly heads, we wonder, where the hell is God? In such a time as this, we could benefit from the prayerful insight of the psalmist who said, even if I make my bed in hell, thou art there. It is time to also heed the words of the prophet Isaiah, who likens God to a street vendor, summoning us away from old habits to new notions of the divine that nourish the soul. Oh, everyone who thirsts, come to the waters, and you who have no money, come buy and eat. Come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. Why do you spend your money on that which is not bread, and your labor for that which does not satisfy? Incline your ear and come to me. Listen, so that you will live. The prophet is referring to a way of living exalted above mundane mortality, fed by and nourished by a spiritual perspective that enables you to notice God and appreciate yourself as a child of God in new, heartfelt ways and insight. God-fearing people of Jesus' day confronted him with a theological dilemma, where Pilate, for no explainable reason, slaughtered a group of righteous Galileans offering animal sacrifices in the temple, mingling the blood of these righteous Jews with their temple offerings. If God sides with the righteous, where was God? Where was God in this unrighteous massacre of innocent lives. And still another dilemma is presented to Jesus, where 18 residents of Jerusalem were in the wrong place at the wrong time, when the tower collapsed and killed them all, inciting the age-old question: if God protects and defends the righteous, why do bad things happen to good people? The answer to these questions arise from a faith that does not view God as all-powerful. For such omnipotence would render us as slaves without freedom to choose our own way. Such omnipotence would render God void of compassion and love that allows us to relate to God as liberated souls rather than manipulated puppets. We live in a world of uncontrollable acts of nature, along with random goodness and evil to which we actively contribute in influencing the ecological and social direction of the planet. And God has blessed each of us with the spiritual capacity to be stewards and co-creators with God, or fallen angels of a hell and destruction of our own design. Children of God, I believe that the present day upheavals we're experiencing is the last-ditch desperation of fallen souls to preserve the evils of the past against an overwhelming tide of resistance that is fed up with old ways and irrelevant gods. We can cause wars to cease, house the homeless, clothe the naked, feed the hungry, restore ecological health and habitats, and provide the means by which every child of God may live to the fullness of physical life, confident that an even fuller realm of life and immortality awaits them, if we but learn to incline our ear, turn to God, and listen to the Spirit of eternity saying, why spend your money on that which is not bread, and your labor on that which does not satisfy? Everyone who hungers and thirsts, come, listen, and live. Amen.